All right, welcome everyone. This video, I am wanting to set up my development environment on this new-ish Windows 10 desktop. This computer recently updated BIOS, recently updated Windows 10 to latest version, and I wanted to install the development tools onto this Windows computer so I can do some Python related development in my spare time when I'm not working. So what am I going to do? Well, I thought I would challenge myself to set up the development environment in Windows 10 using only Microsoft's newly released package manager, winget. So before I jump into that, I just wanted to show Windows version. This is the version that I'm running on. It is a Windows 10 Pro operating system. The other thing I wanted to show is that there is a way that you can do some of this a little bit easier, and that is by enrolling in the Windows Insider program. I will try to do it without this, and I'll point out along the way where the Windows Insider program could help you. But if you don't want to, or you cannot enroll in the Insider program, there are some workarounds in the process to be able to get you the tools you need or the tools you want for development. And I stress that this is a want situation, I guess, because the easiest way to do this is just to go out and grab these tools from the web pages, download them. But, you know, life's a challenge sometimes, so why not challenge ourselves? So first things first, we need winget. And if I show you here, there is a command prompt when I type in terminal. There's no Windows terminal, but there is also PowerShell. And if I type winget here, it shouldn't show me anything. I did have some of these tools installed, but I removed them for this demo. So winget is not here. Code is not here. Trying to think what else I'm going to install. Conda. Not here. Okay. So if I open up this sticky note, here's the outline of what we're going to try and do. I'm sorry if this is a little small. I probably could have put this in a different document, but we're going to get winget. We're going to then use winget to get terminal, VS Code, Miniconda, and Docker. Extra credit, we're going to look at the manifests for winget, and we'll install WSL2 and Ubuntu. But there's a reason why these are under extra credit. Hint, it's related to winget. So that's our plan for this video. I hope you are interested and stick around. Okay, this is the document that I found while preparing for this video. I've taken a lot of these steps, like I said before, to get these tools. But in the process of, preparing, found this link that has a lot of information on different tools that developers use. Obviously, it's titled Set Up Your Development Environment. The one that I'm looking for is this Windows Package Manager, because I'm going to try and use it. There's a link here. There's also, like I said earlier, the option to enroll in the Insider program, Windows Insider program. But this one here has some information about installing winget. And I actually prepared, where is it? This link? No, it is in here. It's under overview, I think. Okay, we're back. It took me a little while to figure out where the installer was. Okay, so this is the Windows Package Manager, and there's a link here to Windows Package Manager section of this development environment document, including this overview, right? To find how to install it, there's a use winget and an overview below that. It would have been helpful if there was an installation link below overview, but here it is. It's overview under use the winget tool. Again, all of this links and stuff may change in the future. The best way to find this information is to search for it and then look for the documentation from Microsoft. All right, so here we have install winget. Notice again that you can get winget through the insider flight ring. If you're part of that or you want to be a part of that, you can go through this link. The other way to get this, if you cannot enroll in the insider preview program, is you can install this from Microsoft's winget repository. If you look at the link, this is a link out to GitHub. So I will open that up and it takes you to the latest release. And I think there's a download section, yes, down here. So Microsoft Desktop Installer, and you want the MSIX bundle. And just to confirm, this was released on June 24th. You can read about the different bugs that were fixed, all of that. Again, they're going to reiterate that the insider program is the best way to get this. One of the reasons they're going to repeat this over and over is because you get updates through that program. If you download from GitHub, you will not get updates and you will have to do the updates manually yourself. But for now, again, because I'm showing a bunch of different things, this is the way we're going to get it. So I'm going to click on that. And I'm going to click Save File because I do that. Don't have to do that. I think one of the reasons why I do that is I often use the downloads folder as a notepad of sorts of what I've installed and when. But yes, not necessary to do that. So update app installer, yes, please. You can read the information here. You need to read it. You need to figure out if this is something that you want to install. I trust Microsoft, so I'm going to update. It says update, but the this is again the first or the second time that I've installed it. So, and I had removed this previously, so this is installing. Let's see if, there we go. I didn't click the button. Great. All right, so that is done. For proper functioning, try to launch a Windows app package. Great, I will do. Now, if we come to PowerShell and I do winget help. Let's see what it says. Oh, look, here's very helpful. All the help of the tool. So info gives me info about it. One of the things that will help you, obviously this help is helpful, but coming back to the documentation, there's a few commands that will be immediately helpful as you're wanting to use this tool. That is install. So obviously, if you want to install an application, this is the way you would get it. You would use winget install. In this example, PowerToys, and PowerToys would be installed. They give you the arguments, the options. The other one that I thought was really helpful was a search. If you want to look for a application, you can search for it. obviously list is helpful as well if you want to see what has been installed. So let me make this bigger. The font was so small I couldn't see where it said font. Good, good. All right. So what did I say? Winget and then list. So here's the information that winget list would show. Basically everything that, pretty much everything that's installed on your machine. So let's actually, so the next application that we want to install is the the Microsoft Terminal application. Let me switch over to that. Here's the information on this. Again, just search for Windows Terminal and installation. There's a number of different ways that you can do it. You can do it clicking this link. You can enroll in the preview program. I think at this time, it's even in the Microsoft Store. If I go there. Yes, so there's the, what do you call this? The stable version and then the preview version. So it's even here in the Microsoft Store. So if you want to go through the Microsoft Store and get all your updates and everything on a regular basis, you can do it that way. I am going to try to do it for the very first time through winget. So winget search terminal. And luckily it is the very first, it is the very first item in the list. So it doesn't say anything about installing it from winget here. So let's just try winget install Windows terminal. Okay, so it did not find it. It said I have a feeling it's due to the space that I put in here. So PowerShell can be finicky about spaces. So let's try that again. There we go. Found Windows Terminal, this time with the double quotes around it. And successfully installed. So that is super quick, super easy. If I then go and search for terminal, in fact, I saw it was there at the very top of the pop-up there. Here's terminal. Great. So now I can close PowerShell. One thing that I'm going to do right away is fix the font size, make it a little bit bigger. If I can get there. Okay, I was digging around for font size and settings and I couldn't find it. One of the things that I did want to do was use dark theme. So I'll do that and I'll save. And then really easy to increase the font size. It's just Control+. So it's too simple. I was overthinking it. All right, we're in PowerShell. We're in Windows, inside a Windows terminal. Obviously, if you wanted to have other shells like command prompt or, we're going to install WSL2 later, these will appear here. All right. The other thing I wanted to point out while I'm here is that in addition to installation, there is a ton of information about setup Windows terminal in this document. Scroll down, read through this. There's great information that the team from Microsoft has done to make this super easy to personalize the way you want it. It's fantastic. I've used it for, I don't know, 6 months, really love it. And with the new settings GUI, it is much easier than hacking the JSON file, but that is still available if you want to do that, which is, again, fantastic. So great that they've allowed both of those. Big fan of this, love using it. Let's move on. Next, we want to install VS Code. You may have seen this earlier in the example. It is really simple. Winget, search, visual, right? There's tons of stuff here now, but and now it's hiding. In the documentation, it was a lot easier. And this is probably just due to things being added over time. Let's try search code. No, it's even worse. Oh, there we go. They changed the name. Microsoft Visual Studio Code. Easy. Let's try it with this time, the ID instead of the name. And what was it? Winget install. And let's put the ID. Okay, found Microsoft Visual Studio Code and the ID. Application is licensed to you. Microsoft not responsible, nor does it grant any license to. Downloading, and it's installing. Again, if you know what you're doing, what you're looking for, super easy to find. I would say much quicker than going through the website. So that's installed. To show it's installed, VS Code is right there. Also, what the heck? Let's try it here. No, it doesn't like that. So let's try opening it first and see if it adds itself to path. Choose the look you want. This is new to me. Okay, so that's just the welcome. Great. All right, full screen, help. Clear that for now. And now this is installed. Let's close it. Let's see if it'll open. Still not. So there could be something. In the past, I've been able to open code. You can see I still have a conda.rc file here from a while back. Okay, so it's not finding code. Okay, we'll fix that later. Great. Now we're going to install Miniconda again using winget. So I had just closed that. Let me open it back up. And winget search. What did I say? Miniconda. Perfect. Now, look at this. Miniconda 3 has a version number here, 4.8.3, and I happen to know that this is an older version. So I'm going to try and search for one more time for Anaconda and just see if it shows. Yes, it shows another version. This is the full Anaconda 3 package, and I don't want that either. I like Miniconda. So something is going on here with winget. They have a Conda Forge version of MiniForge, which is a very good option, I hear. I haven't used it myself. So here's where I'm going to skip into extra credit. I said at some point we'll be looking at this winget packages manifest. So let's do that right now. If you go out to GitHub and go to winget-pkgs Miniconda, make this bigger. Okay. Oh, that's a search I did yesterday. So I searched GitHub for Miniconda and found this. But let me fix that. Here we go. This is the repository for winget-pkgs, and we're at the manifest. The repository starts here. Okay. The manifests is here, and then inside of all of these is are all the packages. And so for Anaconda under A, we can find it in here. Anaconda. And then there's Anaconda 3 and Miniconda 3. And there's actually two. There's the 4.8.3 and there's the 4.9.2, one 5 months and one 3 months ago. 4.8 is, if I look at the YAML file, is Python 3.7. And I prefer 3.8. So I go back to 4.9.2 and look at that YAML file, is Python 3.9. So I don't really have a choice at this point if I want to take Miniconda. And this is one of the areas that I noticed for Winget that they're catching up on, is some application owners haven't put everything out in the manifest for this. So if you look and can't find what you want, you will have to go to the website to grab what you want. So I think this will get better over time as companies get better about adding their product to the manifest, assuming everything continues as we expect at the moment, and the Winget product keeps getting better. So that's just a heads up. What I'm not clear on is, even though Miniconda has two options here, only one option is showing up in the search. So Miniconda is only showing one option. Let me try 3. Yeah, one option. What about if I specified something else? Yeah, I can't think of what else I would specify. Only has one. So for the sake of this video, I'm just going to install this one, but it's very easy to get what you want through the web using search to find what you're looking for. Windows installers, Python 3.8, 32-bit, and please, for God's sake, use 64-bit. This is the 21st century after all. So Python 3.8 right here. Download the installer, check the hash, and you're done. But for today, I'm going to install this one. Conda takes a little while to install. We'll give it some privacy. Close this. Close these. All right, Conda successfully installed. Let's test it out. I think it still has not added itself to path or anything like that. So let's just go run Conda with its init command. So Conda was installed where? That's a great question. I think when I did it manually, it got over here. No, it's not. Okay, so oh, okay. So I think what happened was it installed a user version. It didn't install a admin version. So I'm used to using the admin version, but it installed a user version. So here is the installation, and that could be why it's performing differently than I remember, and that's okay. This is all good learning for me. Again, I haven't done it this way before. So let's run Conda PowerShell. Oops, what did I say? PowerShell. Conda init PowerShell. And if you are wondering why we're doing that, the help, oh gosh, the help will show you what this is all about. So you initialize Conda for shell interaction using Conda init. The positional argument that you have to add is the shell. So that would be bash on Unix, command exe on Windows, or in my case, PowerShell. I prefer PowerShell over command prompt, just the way I am. All right, it's asking to make changes. And it looks like, I really like how it gives you this report, basically telling you what it did. And it tells you here operation failed. So the main reason why this failed is it needs that elevated privilege. So we're going to go fix that. Let's run PowerShell as admin. Yes, please. And we're going to change directory to, what was it, Miniconda. Oh, well, we got to go to home and Miniconda. And then, yes, the command's still here. That's nice. Thank you, PowerShell. Huh, and it's saying needs sudo. I'm pretty sure I gave you sudo, mister. What is going on? Ah, okay. I found my mistake. I'm pretty sure my mistake was running this one here. I'm pretty sure I need to run this one here. Let's try that and just see if it gets through here. I'm going to try first with terminal. Yes. So command, in this case, using my user account and then the Miniconda scripts folder, and then the Conda exe to run init PowerShell, the changes were made. In some cases, no change was required. In other cases, we were able to modify these files, et cetera, et cetera. So bottom line, use the Conda exe in scripts file, scripts directory. So we got to close out the whole shell. and come back in, and then we should be able to run conda and, oh gosh, typing, and the list. And now we have two virtual environments. One is the base, the other is one that is left over from when I uninstalled. What's interesting is that it didn't start up. Oh, it did start up base. That's interesting. All right, so if I want to switch to Jupyter, I can switch to Jupyter, and then I can see what's inside of it. Everything seems to be working just fine. All right, so that's Conda. All right, Conda took a little bit longer than I was anticipating, but Conda is like that sometimes. The other thing that I like to do is it in documents? I like to change the profile. Yes, it's in documents. All right, so in documents and then Windows PowerShell, there's a profile. And this is what Conda initialize changes. The other thing to notice is that as soon as you open a file in VS Code with a certain prefix, it asks you if you want to install those extensions in code, and it's a great idea. As long as they're published by the person you trust, install it. I trust Microsoft, I'm going to install it. If you don't trust someone, don't install their extension. It should go without saying, but I'm going to say it anyway. All right, so this is where the Conda init PowerShell made its update. These are one of its updates. This section was changed by that, and it basically connects PowerShell to this to the Conda command. Makes it much easier to use PowerShell with Conda. If you have other things that you want to override, maybe you have a function you want to define, a series of like a script, series of script commands that you want to define as a function, this is a good place to put them. One script function that is particularly useful is a profile function that will open your profile file .ps1 in code so that you can make alterations. Very handy. You don't have to go looking for your profile PowerShell script. You can just type into the terminal profile and it'll bring it right up, and you can make your change and save and exit. Just an extra tip there. All right, so terminal. We installed Conda. Let's try Docker. We've done 3 so far. Let's try for 4, see if we can install Docker. Winget search Docker. Okay, so Docker desktop is right here. Doesn't look like, oh, they have Edge here, but it doesn't look like they have the old style of Docker. I guess that would be Linux only at this point. So it also shows you the version, right? So one thing else to consider is that within the manifest, okay, they have multiple versions of, as we saw with Conda. In my case, the older version of Miniconda was in the manifest when I searched. In this case, I believe Docker 3.6.0 is the most recent version, but if you wanted an older version, it is here in the manifest. The question is outstanding. How do you get it? So if you needed 2.5 for some reason, you could get it here. Let's take a quick look and see if the install documentation has anything around picking a version. Yes. So with a command, -v or double hyphen version, you can specify an exact version to install. This is helpful. So if you know I need version 2.5.0, this one version here, you could specify that and grab it. The question then becomes, with the search command, how do we show those? It doesn't necessarily say exact count. No. So it doesn't really give us a good indication of how we would, whoops, that's not what I wanted. Yeah, doesn't give us a good. So it's unclear how we would tell search to find all the versions. Wonder if we used exact, whether that would help. No, just returns 1. Yeah, I hope they either reveal in the documentation or the help how you can search and get multiple versions of a particular ID. Maybe let's try that. If we search by ID, what would happen? Okay. No, it's still Edge, isn't it? Yeah, hopefully they can expand this to help us out. But there are multiple versions. You can install a particular version. So if you do get into using winget, you'll need to bookmark this, or at least look this up if you are looking for a specific version of, for example, Miniconda or Docker. So that is all of the installation. I guess we should just confirm that Docker, wait, did I already install Docker? Maybe not. No, I didn't. Great. So let's install Docker. That could take a while. Let's do that one. Let's do it like this. There we go. So Docker desktop downloading, etc., etc. You're responsible for all the licenses. Default language. Great. So if this installs correctly, we will have installed terminal, VS Code, Miniconda, and Docker, only using winget. However, there's another tool that I intend to use in my Windows 10 development environment, and that is WSL2 and Ubuntu. However, WSL2 is not something that you can get with winget. It is a feature that you turn on using Windows. So let's look at the documentation for that. Oh, yes, Docker wants to install. Great. So let's look at the documentation for this while Docker is finishing its installation. So there's, again, 2 ways you can do this: simplified install and a manual install. The simple version requires, again, joining the Windows Insiders program, installing a preview build of Windows 10, but it makes it a little bit easier. In my case, I have already previously gone through these steps. Again, I recommend if you're looking for this to search for this information. Just search for WSL2 install, and this should come up. The simplified version with the insider program is just WSL install. Of course, again, that assumes that you have already gone through these steps. The command line window with administrator privileges is an important one, but it's pretty simple after that. The manual installation is a little bit more involved, but you can do it without going through the insider program. You just have to enable some features manually. Yes, there's a few different things, including enabling virtual machine feature and downloading the Linux kernel update package, setting WSL2 as opposed to WSL1. You can read about that in the documentation, and then installing your Linux distribution of choice. Okay, fairly simple. The documentation covers the steps. Be sure to read the documentation. If you hit a roadblock, chances are you missed one of these steps. Okay. All right, let's see how Docker is doing. It is still installing. Great, and it just finished. Let's actually, let me keep this in doc, or pinned to taskbar, as Microsoft says. And then if I click here, Docker desktop is there. Click it to run, and it should run here in a second. And we'll see it running. No? Maybe I didn't click it. Let's try clicking it again. What about if I was to try and uninstall it? Would it appear? It does. It does appear. So it just does not want to run when I click on it. Let me try clicking there. It looked like it was trying to do something. Is it behind this? No. So, okay, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put a cut in this video here, go reboot, and see if Docker desktop comes back. Because a reboot might help us here. All right, I will stop recording. All right, welcome back. I just logged out and logged back in because the screen recording software that I'm using for this, Zoom, FYI, low-cost recording software, did not show me the Windows announcement pop-up related to the installation of Docker. It suppressed it. Normally the right behavior. In this case, I didn't know that there was an extra step I needed to do, and that was to log out of my account, log back in. As soon as I did that, the Docker desktop was running, and you can see it here. So if I click on that, it pops up. At this point, you can go in and change your settings. For example, you can prevent Docker from starting when you log in. That's actually the behavior I prefer. I know some people get into Docker first thing in the morning. In this case, it won't be that way. The other thing you can do is you can determine whether you use WSL2 for your background, for your engine. In my case, I'm going to leave that the way that it is. as you saw before, I actually do have WSL installed because I had set this up previously before this video. You can use the legacy backend, and that's what would happen if you didn't have that selected. So I'm going to just make that one change and apply and restart. And I think that's all I need to do. All right, so close out of this. Docker is now installed. If I was to open command line and enter Docker command, I can see that it's now giving me options to issue, or giving me the help at least. So that's good. It's now recognized on the command line. So that completes our installation of 4 tools using winget, as well as installing winget from GitHub in our case. Let's look at WSL2 itself. Now, I had up before the instructions for installing WSL, and we had gone through, the simplified install and the manual install, one through the insider program and the other through any version of Windows 10. Again, search for this information, and it should come up pretty close to the top of the search engine results. Now that WSL is installed, one of the things that you will want to do is just make sure that it's running the way that you want it to, so you can check the status. This tells you what version you're running. It also shows me here that I have Docker Desktop. It shows me when it was last updated, and it even shows me the kernel version that WSL2 is using. The next thing that you would want to do is list the online, not inline, online distributions that are available to you. So if you wanted Kali, if you wanted Debian, those are all available. Myself, I'm going to install Ubuntu, but this is a quick and easy way to find out what is available. I am going to install Ubuntu. So let's see if this works. I think I installed this previously through the App Store. Let me just switch over to that real quick. Ubuntu. Yes, it is here. And you can install it through here. That's another option that you can use, again, if maybe this isn't working for you or whatever. You can get it through the App Store, so that's another option. But again, I'm trying to challenge myself, so we'll do it this way. All right, what happened there? Oh, invalid command. So I missed an L. There we go, and it's downloading Ubuntu 18.04. Downloaded, now it's installing, and it's up. All right, this section could take a few minutes, so wait a little bit. Oh, look, it's back. All right, so I'm just going to enter password. And it looks like that ran. So now I have, okay, so now I have my root directory running in Ubuntu here. So that's great. That brings us to the end of the video for today. The tools that I wanted to get installed, most of them through winget. I looked into it. I looked into installing WSL2, but it's not really an install package. It's more of an option in Windows that just needs to be turned on. So there's nothing really for winget to do at this point. The latest versions of Windows have the WSL included, and you just have to turn it on. So that's kind of nice. All right, so that's all for the video today. Thank you for watching. If you made it this far, congratulations. If you have any suggestions on things I should cover or things I missed, feel free to drop those in the comments. Otherwise, have a beautiful day. Thank you.